Hey everyone, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have a really exciting video. A lot of you guys have been asking me either like on my chats, in my comments, whatever, about when I'm going to branch out and try another new vendor. So I am here today with a new to me vendor. I have a very small haul from Lurid Apothecary. Why this is the next vendor I went with, I'm not like, I don't know that this was like on the top of my list, but I think it just was the right place at the right time. I knew there was a launch coming. I had my eye on a couple of blends, so it's kind of like it just happened. I've been kind of finding it hard to really make the plunge in certain vendors, especially new vendors, because a lot of the blends I already have. I have a lot of fall wax, so like it's not like when I was first getting into it, especially with L3, every blend I read, I was like, oh, that's a new to me thing, I have to have it. Versus now, I feel like I'm like kind of getting into knowing what I like and don't like and what scent notes appeal to me. So it's making it, I would say harder, but honestly, it's probably better. I don't need to like purchase every single thing, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to share the couple things I picked up from Lurid Apothecary, and I actually hopped on probably about a half hour or an hour after their RTS had started. I didn't know if there would be anything left. I really didn't know what to expect. There was stuff left. I mean, I picked up these items, but at the same time, it definitely wasn't like full stock by any means. But I don't know how big of a vendor this is. I feel like it's relatively small, so for this many items to be left, I felt pretty good about that. So this was kind of not Halloween themed, but it is kind of around that time, of Halloween. So they included this little, it says Book of Spells, and it's kind of just like a drawing like pad, I guess you could say. I just thought that was such a cute little touch, especially if you have a kid. Like this would be so fun to give them like on a car ride, or if you're at a restaurant, you just doodle, whatever, like keep busy. It's definitely like a thin, like almost, I don't want to say waxy, but it's like definitely a different type of paper. It's not like printer paper, you know what I mean? So I feel like this is for drawing, but it's just super cute. I love that it says Book of Spells. It's just kind of like fits the theme, So also there was a sample included, and honestly this is like a pretty hefty sample in my opinion. It says it's We Are the Weirdos, and it's Palo Santo and Toasted Mallow. So I was kind of expecting this to be somewhat of a play on today is October 3rd, potentially. I will say this bag specifically was like really hard to open. I actually had opened it and I like totally split the bag and I just like taped it up kind of like together. Probably use this sooner rather than later because I did rip the bag, but it was like really hard to open. And not that that's like the vendor's fault, but I was just like, dang, I can't get it open, and then I ripped it. So this, I definitely get the Palo Santo, but I get the Toasted Mallow, but in some vendors, marshmallow really takes on like the plasticiness. Like if you don't let it cure for long enough, it smells like plastic. And I know that sounds so weird, but I've had it happen to me before on multiple occasions. And I'm just like, what is happening? It just smells plasticky. So I feel like I'm getting that element with the Palo Santo, but the more it's like out of the bag, it gets better, if that makes sense. So I might let this sit for maybe like a week and see what happens. But I would like to use up this sample to just kind of get a gist of like, do I need to let these sit? Do I not? I have no idea what to expect. I'm not like hurting for wax in it by any means, so I don't need to like hurry up and use these at all. But I would kind of like to get a gist. And so if you've tried this vendor, let me know your approximate, like how long you let things sit. But otherwise, my general rule of thumb is like 2 weeks, unless it's Scentsy, or like Walmart. So these, I think, have the pour dates on them. So, okay, next, I thought this was really funny because look at the shapes of these. I recently, from one of Amy Johnson's videos, Amy Johnson? Oh my gosh, I think it's Amy Jackson. Amy Scents and Songs. I felt when I said Amy Johnson that was wrong, but I think it's Amy Jackson. I'm so sorry. Amy Scents and Songs. She talked about these like chocolate mold, like the way this is molded. And I actually picked them up, and I'm pretty sure this is the same exact mold. So I thought that was funny when I got these. I was like, wait a minute, do I have the same exact mold? Like, just kind of caught me off guard. So this one is Hoodies and Chill. And honestly, it's like kind of hard to read that. But it's Let Them Eat Cake, Vanilla Bean, and Blue Sugar. And also it says it was poured on 9/2. I don't know if these were leftovers from like a pre-order or something that happened. I'm not positive. Because the sale wasn't until like after the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, like it was later in the month, so this was poured pretty early. But also the pour date has like it's like crossed out. I'm gonna see if you can try and see that. It's like has a line through it. I don't know if that's intentional, but all of the like brittle type situations like this have it crossed out like that. Don't know if that's just a mix up, but anyway. Let Them Eat Cake, Vanilla Bean, and Blue Sugar. And I kind of like to take things like out of the bag to smell them. This is very interesting. I really gravitated toward this blend because I thought the Blue Sugar would come out, and I had a blend with Blue Sugar, I finished it, and then as soon as it was over, I was like kind of craving it again. So I've kind of been trying to buy the things with Blue Sugar. But I think the more like vanilla end of it is making it tone down a little bit. Like I get the Blue Sugar, but it's not as... Blue Sugar is so hard to describe. Like it has a very distinct scent to me, but not something I wouldn't know what it is if I hadn't smelled it before. This to me is almost like a very nice light floral perfume. I know that sounds weird with the notes, but I think it's the mix of the Let Them Eat Cake and the Blue Sugar. I don't know. It smells really nice. But like I said, it definitely smells like a nice floral mix of feminine and masculine perfume. Like a very unisex perfume. So maybe, I don't know if I let this sit, will the Blue Sugar come out more? It's still very nice, but it's definitely not as heavy on the Blue Sugar as I was hoping for, but I enjoy the blend. It's definitely not like overpowering either. The next one is Monster Mash. It's Cider Lane type, Halloween candy, and cotton candy. And I think this one was poured 9/3, but once again, it has that might be blurry, but it has that black line through it. Like, sorry, that nail fell off. So, it's so cute though. I don't think I've ever had a wax with like this much decoration glitter like in it. I think the Melted Mousse sometimes did like glitter type stuff, but this seems like quite a bit of glitter. But this one is like Cider Lane amped up the sweetness. Like it's so sweet. Like it's Cider Lane, but it's definitely sweet. Like almost borderline cloying. It has to be either the cotton candy or the Halloween candy, just like sweetening up the Cider Lane. And if you don't know, Cider Lane's kind of like an apple caramel blend. Bath and Body Works dupe. Yeah. It's like so sweet. It literally is like almost toothache smelling kind of, but it's definitely the caramel apple, but it's like they double dipped the caramel, or they double dipped the apple in the caramel. Like it's extra sweet. Maybe they like rolled it and you know, like maybe you're eating that and cotton candy or something. It's so sweet. So I'm curious to see how that one translates like in the air. Is it still so sweet, or does it kind of like tone down? Was this one, I don't know, I feel like one of these was like really popular. I don't actually like know. I've just heard a couple people talk about this vendor, so I'm not like, you know, a super mega follower of them. Like I don't know exactly, but this one's called Autumn Elephant, which is elephant ears, which I'm sure is some kind of like somewhat bakery blend. Has to be. I looked up the notes before I bought these, but I don't have them now. Plus green apple plus caramel, and this one says poured 8.29. I like how all the labels are like fun and different. I know that takes a lot of time, especially like design wise, so I can appreciate that. To me, this one is more, not that this is more cider lane than the other one with cider lane, but I'm definitely getting like the apples caramel vibe. But whatever the elephant ears is, which I think is a bakery blend, maybe it's like a cinnamon bakery blend, I feel like it's giving it a different, a little bit more dimension than just apple caramel. So I'm excited to warm this one and maybe even potentially mix it with the one with cider lane that's like super sweet, because this one has more depth for sure. It's definitely a different apple. I mean, it says green apple, but you can tell it's not the same apple. But it has something different behind it, almost like a spice in the background of some sort, which could be the elephant ears. But these two would probably be very nice mix. And I'm thinking these will be really nice because you could probably just like snap them apart and mix as you please. Because since these aren't like super large cubes, you could easily mix a couple of them in your warmer. Okay, next is Voodoo Vibes, which is Santal Almond Cream, Amber, Caramel, and Vanilla. And this was poured at 9:10. I've been really into like Santal type of scents. I just find it like so relaxing, but not a lot of people do them. I don't know if the oil is like harder to find. Had to point this out. Also on this one, can you see there's like little, let me get out of the way. There's like little faces pressed in here. I don't know how they did that. They're like pressed in. That's so cool to me. Might be a mess in the warmer, I don't know. Yeah, this definitely has the Santal in it. It's kind of like a light, I mean, it definitely has the amber. It's making it a little bit more perfumey. I think if it didn't have the amber, it would be even lighter, which I think, you know, people just don't like that, like light wax, you know, because you obviously want to be able to smell it. But I think I could probably do without the amber. But it's really just like a nice, light, I hate saying perfumey because I feel like that gives the wrong impression, but it's definitely like if you've smelled Santal, that's what it smells like. And I really, like I said, been on the hunt for those because I just find them really relaxing and I just enjoy the scent, like especially mixed with like a vanilla or something. So I enjoy that one. I'll probably be doing it in the bedroom, but I feel like you could do it elsewhere. Okay, next, I was planning on only getting like these kind of bar things, but a couple of the scents that I wanted, they didn't have, so I ended up getting like these more bag type shapes, which kind of remind me of like a play on Rose Girls mini melters, but also kind of like, like a broken up brittle or something like that. This one is more cider. It's caramel apple, crimson pear, pomander, pomegranate, and cider. And I think this one says it was poured on 9:5. It's kind of hard to read. Don't know if you'll be able to see any of that. But I mean, there's like quite a few pieces in here. And some of them, like, this is pretty big. Not that it's like super thick, but it's pretty big. So this is definitely cider heavy. But this is also, like, I get the pear. I'm really sensitive to pear. And I honestly think now, from when I first smelled this to now, I'm getting more of the pomegranate. It's kind of, to me, fall into Christmas. It's not like a caramel apple cider or just like a generic apple cider. It's like a deeper, we're getting ready for the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas type of cider. It's just got like a deeper feel to it. But it also kind of reminds me of like going to my friend's house as a kid near the holidays and like their parents would have these types of scents going. This could easily be reminiscent to like a Yankee Candle or something. I'm not very familiar with Yankee, but it smells very familiar, if that makes sense. I enjoy it, but I think, like I said, it might be a more closer to Christmas for me type of scent. But it's worth a try, right? And then the last one I picked up is Marshmallow Treats. It's vanilla, pumpkin, marshmallow, and spice. And this one was poured 9:4. I like how these have like different colors, like brown, white, and it's like mixed throughout. I think that's cool. Definitely these bags get dirtier because the wax just rolls around. And for this one, there's a lot of vanilla in here. And I can tell because it's not like super fully cured. This could probably sit for a little bit longer. But also, it really reminds me of Vanilla Pumpkin Marshmallow from Bath & Body Works. A little bit less on like the pumpkin spice element. Mostly getting the vanilla and marshmallow, honestly. But it's giving me Vanilla Pumpkin Marshmallow vibes from Bath & Body Works. So maybe while it's warming up, it would come off more pumpkin, or maybe it just needs to sit a little bit longer. Because it's definitely very, very much vanilla based at this point. And maybe the pumpkin they used and just like a dash of spice, maybe it's not supposed to like get any more spicy. But I really love Vanilla Pumpkin Marshmallow. I've recently just finished the candle in the crock and it was delicious. So, I mean, can't complain having something very similar. So that is everything for my first Lurid Apothecary haul, new to me vendor. I'm really excited to for sure warm up the sample and give it a test. I might actually do that in the morning just because I'm really curious to see how the vendor throws in my office here. So that's what I'm going to try. I will report back in my weekly home fragrance roundups how things are going. But if you have any recommendations on like cure time or anything for this vendor, please leave them down below. Otherwise, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.